In the headlines, different strokes as fuel queues reduce in Abuja. Borno CP cautions against planned protest. NDLEA intercepts illicit drugs meant for export. And Finland announces decision to join NATO. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bada. Hello and a warm welcome. Queues over the weekend reduced in most filling stations in the Federal Capital Territory, paving way for motorists and other residents to get the commodity at a shorter time. In this report, Kabir Lawal spoke to motorists and other vehicle owners on the need for the federal government to make the commodity available during weekends. The report.
At the peak of the scarcity, roadside vendors, popularly called black marketers, took advantage of the situation to sell at exorbitant prices. This reduced the purchasing power of average buyer, while some resorted using taxis to and from their destinations. However, in Abuja metropolis, fuel consumers have heaved a sigh of relief as the product has become more available, with queues reducing.
Oh, honestly, maybe just because today is Sunday, that's right. Sometimes within the working days, you may realize the line is too much. So I think just because today is Sunday, you have been seeing how the drivers are suffering. So I don't see any problem with the travel, what do you call it? Because whenever the fuel increase, definitely the price may be increasing. So I don't see any problem with that.
Well, I've been here for over 30 minutes. I just came from church actually. Queues were longer than this during the week. It was longer during the week anyway. Yeah, but maybe because it's Sunday, people will close from church and start queuing now.
They expressed happiness and called on federal government to find a lasting solution to the fuel scarcity due to its effect on the economy through price increase.
This week now, it don't come down. Okay. I felt today for tomorrow, but we don't know how tomorrow will be. Monday morning will be. But today now, the thing is getting better. Since yesterday, Francis Friday is getting better. But now I don't know the next week the Monday will be. Therefore, I can get to make it the airport. We will see with the commercial like this, make it the airports, make the first day. Because we know fuel, we cannot make tour. Our family cannot get something to go work to. Make the airports, make the fare come down. If the airport make the day normal, at least if you understand they come now, the other thing make the fare the day normal. Now we need the scarcity of the fare.
Long distance drivers passing through Abuja are pleased with the ease of getting the product in the FCT and call on the federal government to look into the issue, which will go a long way to reduce transportation fares and spare parts.
He said
the fuel scarcity in other states is more worse than that of the FCT, adding that black marketers in other states also sell the product at exorbitant prices.
This is how Sunday looks like in Abuja metropolis, where the queues are not as heavy as it used to be at weekdays. And motorists are smiling now. People are walking with jerry cans to buy fuel commodities for their car and also their generators at home. In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
Similarly, long queues are resurfacing at filling stations in Katsina State, with motorists spending hours to purchase fuel. While most of the filling stations belonging to independent marketers have remained closed, the few ones that are opened are selling above the pump price. Abdullahi Yamadi has the details.
Motorists defy the scorching sun and choose to spend hours on the queue to buy petrol. Despite the inconvenience of waiting for long hours, they are not buying the commodity at the regulated pump price. Fuel sells in Katsina between 195 to 200 naira per litre, and these motorists are tired of the inconsistent policies and programs on petrol supply. They feel the federal government is not doing enough to cater for the welfare of the common man. These Katsina residents insist that it is high time the federal government deals with the issue of fuel scarcity head-on and bring Nigerians out of the woods. They are of the opinion that the fuel scarcity has succeeded in destroying the socio-economic fabric that guarantees the well-being of the ordinary Nigerian.
The problem of petroleum that we are facing is not from government, it's from our marketers. because government didn't increase the price of petroleum, and they have already announced that the petroleum is there available. So why can't they go and take the fuel? So they are using this in order to make it difficult for us, in order to use this opportunity to sabotage. So my appealing to the government is that the issue is on subsidy. So let them remove the subsidy so that we know that this fuel we are buying it at our own without any subsidy.
Independent petroleum marketers say they buy the commodity from private depots at exorbitant prices, which is what affects distribution and sales at filling stations. But motorists accuse the marketers of impunity, subjecting ordinary citizens to harsh economic conditions. There appears to be some connivance between the government and independent petroleum marketers. People have been suffering untold hardship for quite a while. For some time now, only major marketers dispense petroleum products in Katsina State at the government-approved pump price. On the flip side, regulatory agencies have allowed independent marketers to sell at exorbitant price without any form of control.
First of all, we know how we treat our customers. We treat them nicely, and secondly, we are giving out the product at the government approval price. And as you can see, when you get to other filling stations, you can see that there's fuel, but the price is higher than our own here.
This gives room for racketeers to make brisk business unchecked. Efforts to get the leadership of the regulatory body on petroleum products in Katsina proved abortive. Observers have warned that if this situation is left unchecked, it may likely affect the 2023 general elections. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Elsewhere, the Borno State Commissioner of Police has cautioned religious leaders and people of Borno to shelve any planned protest over the Sokoto blasphemy incident. This follows a meeting on peace building with religious leaders and other security stakeholders with the Commissioner on the directive of the state governor. Intelligence reports suggest that some residents were planning to shut down the city in reaction to the alleged Sokoto blasphemy incident that resulted to the death of a female student named Deborah Samuel. At the meeting, the Commissioner of Police, Abdul Umar, called on the religious leaders to help the state maintain peace by ensuring that their followers stay peaceful.
We all know that here in Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states, there is Boko Haram crisis, which we are trying to calm the situation and enjoy the peace we are experiencing now. But with what happened in Sokoto recently is the reason we called for this gathering to enlighten our people, and it's expected of us to extend the message here to our followers on the importance of peace. The governor called me this hour that we should have this meeting, even if it's to wake everyone, to discuss so we can avoid what happened in Sokoto to occur in Borno. We will take action accordingly. The chief imam will summon all the malams and preachers and talk to them. He will deliver the message of the Commissioner of Police to them. I will also appeal to the Khan chairman to talk to the pastors and Christians to avoid religious comments. It will really help to stop spreading the story of. We, the Christian community in Borno State, have agreed to maintain peace. I have written letters to all the pastors in Borno telling them to inform their members that we don't want any reaction from them and they should go about their normal routine activities without any fear of attack. We are law-abiding and we have a total submission to the teaching of God as enshrined in the Holy Bible.
This is the second day a 24-hour curfew has been in effect in Sokoto has been ever since it was imposed by State Governor Aminu Tambol on Saturday. The imposition of the restriction followed protests by some residents of the state against the arrest of alleged killers of a female student named Deborah Samuel, who was accused of blasphemy. Now let's join Daily Trust TV's correspondent in Sokoto to give us a situation report on what is happening there presently. Hello Idris, it's nice to have you on News Update at this hour. Can you talk to us about what's happening in Sokoto presently?
Well, Mardia, like you said, this is the second day since the state government imposed 24-hour curfew here in Sokoto State, the state capital. And like you can see, there is restriction of movement. People moving as usual, like they used to do. This is one of the busiest roundabouts here in Gidado Road within the Sokoto metropolis. And as you can see, people are trying to rush back home so that they will not cut off with the enforcement. And across the city, wherever you enter, there are presence of policemen and other security operatives trying to ensure enforcement. Now, you may recall that this protest, this curfew, was imposed a protest yesterday, which went violent over the arrest of the suspected killers of Deborah, the student that was killed after following a blasphemy. So immediately after the protest, the state government announced a 24-hour curfew. I've been speaking with some people here in Sokoto who expect that the state government will relax the curfew today. Unfortunately, it has not been relaxed, and the state government did not mention whether it's relaxing the curfew now or it will continue until after some few days, maybe when things become a little bit stable before the state government will relax the curfew. But as of now, it is a 24-hour curfew, but only restricted within the state capital here in Sokoto.
Okay, so with your presence there, what has been the reaction of people, following that incident?
Well, actually, there are different reactions. People are saying different things. Some people will tell you that, oh, what this lady did was actually wrong, and what she got, she actually deserved it. And some other people will say, no, you don't have rights to take those into your own. Should have allowed the authorities to handle it and what have you. But beyond that, also people are speaking about the curfew that is enforced, because most people could not go out to go to the market and other places of their work. So it is actually hurting them. And the people, I spoke with some people since I came to Sokoto here. Some people are appealing to the state government to see how they can be able to relax the curfew so that people can be able to start going out regularly as they used to. Even though you can see pockets of people moving around within the state, but it's not as usual as it used to be. And there are security operatives. People are moving at their own risk, because if the police caught up with you, they will definitely arrest you along the process. So people are generally not happy with the curfew, and they are appealing to the state government to relax it. And the state government is saying, look, until we find the roots of the problem, until when things are settled down, before we'll be able to see if we can relax the curfew.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Idris, for talking to us. We're going to continue to follow that story, subsequently in our bulletin. Well, moving on, Governor of Bauchi State and presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Bala Muhammad, says Nigeria is not divided, but suffering from bad administration. Bala said this at the state secretariat of the party in Kaduna when he met with delegates ahead of the party's primaries. The report.
Senator Muhammad said Nigeria is suffering from insecurity and economic challenges as a result of bad governance.
Nigeria is so divided, and the division is caused by maladministration. The nepotism, the exclusion of people that are federating in the country to form the country called Nigeria. There is so much suspicion and mistrust, because most of the federating entities are not feeling a sense of belonging to the center. And then the government does not care. There is a lot of disillusionment and disenchantment. The youth are not given employment. the women are not considered as vulnerable.
In another development, the Social Democratic Party in Kaduna at its state and local government congress says the party is ready to wrestle power from the APC in 2023.
SDP won the election 1992 during the Babangida era. So definitely this time around, even the last election we came third. But 2023 we are going to win the election.
And you know, we have a structure, we have the integrity to deliver. People know only that it was sidelined, or somehow because of the pressure on the SDP. But now that we have seen the nature of the APC and the PDP, we are sure people will not trust the SDP.
Meanwhile, a group of youths in Kaduna have called on party leaders and delegates to put national interests above self when choosing candidates for various offices to ensure that Nigeria moves forward.
We appeal to party leaders and delegates to see beyond the next general elections and rather consider the next generation, as they will either enjoy or pay the price of decisions you are about to make. See beyond money bags. Don't sell your conscience. Give us the best and secure the future of Nigeria.
As Nigerians are about to witness another general election in 2023, many believe that for the country to overcome its challenges, the right candidates must emerge from different political parties. Lami Sadiq, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
At least 150 internally displaced persons in Nasarawa State have benefited from the distribution of sewing machines as part of efforts to provide an alternative means of livelihood. At the presentation ceremony in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital, Governor Abdullahi Sule explained that the gesture is part of his administration's efforts geared towards catering for the well-being of the internally displaced persons and vulnerable persons across the state. The report.
The distribution, which was a collaboration between the Nasarawa State Government, United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the Japanese government, drew beneficiaries from the 4 local government areas of Awe, Kiana, Obi, and Doma. The beneficiaries are victims of humanitarian crisis and displaced persons from various IDP camps in the state who have undergone 3 months training in various skills to enable them become self-reliant. Governor Sule explained that the move was to reduce the hardship being faced by the IDPs and to make them have a sense of belonging. While charging the beneficiaries to use the machines properly to enhance their livelihood, Governor Sule also called on other donor agencies and well-meaning individuals to emulate the initiative by the UNDP and the Japanese government to assist internally displaced persons and other vulnerable children.
Let me use the opportunity of the occasion to call on other development partners and philanthropists to emulate this gesture for the gainful employment of our youth and women for the overall benefit of the society, which I believe will serve as their source of income and to make them have a means of livelihood without depending on others for survival.
Representatives of UNDP, Chukwu Maome, said its organization, in collaboration with the Japanese government, also have a similar program in the state on agriculture to assist the internally displaced persons to engage in farming.
It's our only two-way to ensure that persons who have been affected by conflict, Your Excellency, are able to find their feet, empowered economically, given all sorts of skills and training to enable them embark on the journey of self-reliance and economic development.
Director General, Nasarawa State Emergency Management Agency, Zakari Alumaga, explained that the beneficiaries would go home with 1 sewing machine and other accessories as a startup park to set up their small-scale businesses. Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Rita Ayam appreciated Nasarawa State Government, UNDP, and the Japanese government for coming to their aid.
Thank government of Japan and UNDP. Those humanitarian gesture has gone beyond our borders to include us here in Nigeria.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up. Culture of tribal marks going extinct. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay.
Daily, we bring you updates around politics.
People like you who are very young, you have no future. Anybody now who is 30 years,
If what is happening today continues, by the time you are 60, you will have no country.
The DPO of a particular unit does not have to wait until the commissioner tells him what to do within his jurisdiction.
We have political parties on the ground. Some of them have been there for years. But they themselves, in their own sober moments, they know that this country is not the one they're expecting to run.
Policy and governance.
Are you saying the NBS is lying?
I'm saying to you very clearly that the NBS has a serious problem with accurate data till today.
The 5th Assembly, as well as the 7th Assembly, their own attempt were unproductive.
Emergence of the Taliban has simply emboldened terror groups globally.
There is a lot of attention with regards to security developments in Nigeria.
On Daily Politics, we interrogate issues, holding the actors to account, bearing in mind all the sides.
We heard that in some places now, people have to go and pay tax, not to the local government, not to the state, but to criminals.
Nobody can come to your house and kidnap you without information.
If this country is bleeding, it is bleeding because we have failed to educate our young.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update, our top stories. Different strokes as fail queues reduce in Abuja. Borno CP cautions against planned protest. Still ahead, no fewer than 7 farmers were killed by suspected terrorists in the early hours of Saturday at Faru Community, Maradu local government area of Zamfara State. A resident of the affected community told Trust TV that the victims were working in their farms when the suspected terrorists launched an attack on the farmers, killing 7 of them. He narrated that the terrorists began attacking the community since the beginning of the rainy season and had made it clear to farmers that they would not allow them to carry out farming activities this year. The locals observed that the terrorists had been going round the farmlands to ensure total compliance with their threat. They called on relevant authorities to take decisive action to protect the community from the dreaded criminal elements and restore peace in the troubled area. Unknown gunmen on Saturday evening ambushed a police convoy at Idema, Otuabagi Road, Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State while returning from a colleague's burial at Imago, Kubo River State, killing 1 officer and 4 civilians while others were critically injured. According to a source from the community, the policemen and civilians were returning from the burial of a police officer identified as late ASP Gilbert Sampson when the unfortunate incident happened. He said the gunmen were suspected to be kidnappers who wanted to take occupants of the vehicles into the bush. Police spokesman in Bayelsa State, SP Asinim Butswat, who confirmed the incident in a statement on Sunday, said the Commissioner of Police in Bayelsa State has ordered for a manhunt for the gunmen who perpetrated the dastardly act while investigation is ongoing to unravel those behind the attack. Now, age-long cultural practice on the brink of extinction. The age-long cultural practice of inscribing tribal marks on children's cheeks in Yoruba land is gradually fading away and might go into extinction. While many people want the practice stopped, there are people who believe that the culture of tribal marks should be sustained because of its benefits. Hamid Oyebadi filed in this report.
In Yoruba land, tribal marks serve different purposes. The people use these marks as a way of identification and a means of beautification, while they believe in their powers of healing and spiritual protection. They are a part of the Yoruba culture and are usually inscribed on the cheeks during childhood. One of the common tribal marks in Ile-Ife in Osun State is known as Pele, which comes as 3 long vertical lines drawn on the cheeks. The other versions are Pele Ijebu and Pele Ijesha. Another popular tribal mark in Yoruba land is the Gombo marking system, a complex combination of curved and straight lines on both sides of the face. It is common to people from Ogbomoso in Oyo State. However, the culture is gradually going into extinction in Yoruba land because of modernity. Fumilayo Adeyemi says tribal marks deface people and so should be stopped.
Tribal mark is a fashion of the old by our forefathers, and I don't think this mark is in vogue anymore. And the reason why I believe that this tribal mark should not be invoked again is because of the damages it has caused a lot of children. In the olden days, this is normal, it is acceptable. But in the 21st century, we don't accept it any longer.
You see what happened when they even born me? They have to carry me out from our family house to another place so that they will not give me that tribal mark. Tribal mark in the olden days is very important. It's just a unique to know people where you came from. But as we are in a modern world, it's no longer useful.
In contrast, Olaide Oyelude and Prince Kola Oyelere both believe the practice should be sustained and want rulers to protect Yoruba cultural practices, including tribal marks.
I'm a Yoruba man. Concerning the issue of tribal marks, I will advocate that we should continue, we should not allow the culture of applying tribal marks on our children to die. Why? Tribal marks can be used to identify the community or the family that a baby or someone is from.
Increasing urbanization and modernization have rendered some cultural practices obsolete, which is why the practice of tribal marks may be on its way to extinction. Even the debate about their importance to society is not as loud as it was in years past.
Moving on, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has interrupted bids by drug cartels to export tramadol, ecstasy, MDMA and cannabis to Milan, Italy and Dubai, United Arab Emirates through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. It also seized over 200,000 tablets of pharmaceutical opioids and illicit substances in raids across Abia, Kaduna, Yobe and Kogi State. The report.
At the Lagos airport, a female passenger, Odia Emiliana Efe, was arrested on Monday 9th May while trying to board Royal Air Morocco flight from Lagos via Casablanca to Milan, Italy, with 1,000 tablets of tramadol, 200 milligrams concealed in food items. A freight agent, Karim Ibrahim, was also arrested at the Sako cargo shed of the airport for attempting to export food items containing hidden blocks of cannabis, weighing 6.65 kilograms, and 24 grams of ecstasy drugs, MDMA, to Dubai in the UAE. In Abia, 3 trucks loaded with drugs coming from Lagos and Onitsha, Anambra, were intercepted with 67,100 tablets of tramadol and 12,650 capsules of pentazocine, morphine, and dopamine. Similarly, NDLEA operatives in Kaduna arrested a suspected drug dealer, Shehu Kabir, also known as Anzaira, wanted by the Katsina command of the agency for jumping bail. Items recovered from him include 45,000 tablets of diazepam, weighing 41.5 kilograms, 50,000 tablets of Exo, weighing 15.6 kilograms, 1,500 tablets of Rofinol, weighing 700 grams, and 300 bottles of codeine, weighing 41.
And that's it on News Updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.